In this video we are going to talk about the easy fudgy brownies from scratch. Before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. My favorite brownie recipe is this one. They're dense, fudgy in the center, and fully homemade. These brownies are so much better than boxed brownies, and I'm sure you already have everything you need in your kitchen. I realize that proclaiming these to be the greatest brownies ever is bold, but we honestly believe it. Rich, extra chocolatey brownies are our favorite. The rich, fudgy middles and crinkly tops of these brownies are absolutely delicious. These are ideal for fans of boxed brownies since the rich, moist, and fudgy texture is similar to what you'd get from a boxed mix. However, things improve. These brownies have a lot more taste than store-bought brownies. They're delicious. Ingredients for brownies. These brownies only one bowl and take minutes to prepare. You may perhaps already have the necessary components on hand. Allow me to walk you through the process of creating them. Most of the ingredients for these brownies are probably already in your kitchen. What you'll need is the following. Butter has significantly more taste than oil. We don't see the need to use oil because we utilize 100% butter in the recipe. The bitterness of unsweetened cocoa powder is balanced with sugar, which also adds to the texture of the brownies. It makes the tops crinkly and the centers velvety. Our chocolate ingredient is added with cocoa powder, which gives these a deep flavor. I've experimented with several chocolate powders. These can be made using natural cocoa powder, Dutch processed cocoa powder, or raw cacao powder. Use whatever you like, although with these brownies, I like the flavor of Drosti cacao, a Dutch cocoa powder. The brownies get their richness and structure from eggs. The brownies' flavor is rounded out with salt and vanilla. Salt in baking may seem strange, but it brings out the flavors of the recipe, just as it does in savory cookery. The last ingredient is all-purpose flour, but only a small amount is required. Keep in mind that we're looking for extremely fudgy brownies, so reducing the flour to a minimum will assist. More flour will be needed in cakey brownie recipes. While we have not tried this ourselves, there are several folks who have had success using a gluten-free flour blend, such as the Bob's Red Mill blend, in the comments below. Why don't you throw in some chocolate? This recipe is based on Alice Medrich's cocoa brownies, which can be found in several of her cookbooks. When it comes to chocolate, Medrich is a genius. Some brownie recipes call for chocolate to be melted into butter, then blended with sugar, eggs, and flour, according to Google. This dish is unique and clever. Medrich recommends cocoa powder instead of chocolate. She fine-tuned the brownies by removing the chocolate, along with the fat and sugar that comes with it, so that the middles were softer and moister and the tops were sparkly and candy-like. The recipe is flawless. They aren't very sweet because we used chocolate powder. If you're anything like us and prefer dark chocolate to milk, these are for you. Here's another recipe that's not shy about using a lot of chocolate powder in the batter. You can add chocolate chips or chopped chocolate if desired. After all, these are your brownies. Before pouring the mixture into the baking pan, stir in a handful of chocolate or distribute chocolate on top of the batter in the pan. How to make the most delicious brownies. These brownies are incredibly easy to make. Only a single mixing bowl, a small pot, and a spoon are required. There's no need for a mixer or other costly equipment. I follow these steps to make them. Step 1. Melt the butter with the sugar, salt, and cocoa powder in a small saucepan. This is where the saucepan enters the picture. Make a double boiler, which is a fancy phrase for a tiny saucepan filled with an inch or two of water and heated on low. I lay a bowl over the saucepan and watch as the butter, sugar, and cocoa powder melt into a gritty-looking concoction. This procedure aids in the creation of the crinkly top that we all adore. This method of heating the sugar helps it move to the top of the brownies in the oven, which is how they achieve their shining top. Butter, sugar, cocoa powder, and salt are melted together. Alternative options include using the microwave to complete the operation. I prefer the stovetop method since I know it results in a lovely crackly top. In a saucepan over medium-low heat, melt the butter into the sugar and cocoa. The double boiler is a fail-safe way to avoid scorching the batter, but you should be good if you maintain the heat on medium-low and stay nearby. Step 2. Combine the vanilla extract and the eggs. The brownies are made with 2 eggs, but I add them one at a time. I crack the first egg into the butter, sugar, and cocoa powder mixture. I repeat with the second egg once the first has been stirred in. Incorporating the eggs into the batter. The mixture will change from a gritty batter to one that resembles glistening pudding after adding the eggs. Step 3. Stir in the flour. I beat the batter with a spoon for 40 to 50 strokes after including the flour. It will be a thick batter. This extra pounding ensures that the butter emulsifies into the mixture, resulting in flawlessly baked brownies in the oven. We normally warn you not to overmix batters, but that isn't the case with these simple brownies. To create extra fudgy brownies, add half a cup flour. These extremely fudgy brownies just require half a cup of flour. Step 4 is to bake them. Cook the brownies for 20 to 25 minutes in the oven. Because no one wants an overbaked brownie, I've dedicated an entire section below to explaining how I determine when brownies are ready to be removed from the oven. Filling the baking pan with brownie batter. What is the best pan to use? The brownies are baked in an 8-inch square pan. Several people have questioned if it's safe to use a larger pan after I posted the recipe. You can, but the recipe will need to be doubled. A 9-inch by 13-inch rectangular pan is ideal for double the recipe, and the brownies will be slightly thicker. Because they cook more evenly, it's better to use light-colored or glossy metal baking pans. Bake time and texture of brownies can be affected by using dark pans or non-metal pans like glass or ceramic. If you only have these pans, keep an eye on the brownies while they bake, checking on them 5 minutes before the recipe says, and then every 5 minutes after that until they are done. When should brownies be eaten? It can be difficult to tell when brownies are done baking, but don't worry, with our suggestions, you'll be a brownie pro in no time. My first piece of advice is to set a timer. I'm bad at staying focused. Without a timer to remind me to check on the brownies, they'll be overbaked. Set the timer for 18 minutes because they should take 20 to 25 minutes. This way, as the cooking progresses, you can keep a close check on them. A toothpick will suffice. Insert it into the pan's middle and pull it out. They'll require longer time if the toothpick has wet batter on it. If there are moist crumbs on the toothpick, they are done. If there are none, you may have overbaked them, so remove them from the oven immediately. Use your vision. The middle of perfectly baked brownies will appear underbaked. The brownies, you see, continue to cook as they cool. Remove them from the oven when the edges appear dry and the middle is slightly underdone. Even if you took them out a minute early, an underbaked square in the middle of the pan is preferable to an overbaked pan as a whole. I'd cheerfully eat the underbaked middle if I were at your house. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.